Future trends, deep insights, industry leaders. This is the iGaming Next podcast with your host, Rory Credland. This podcast is brought to you by Pragmatic Play, an industry-leading content provider of slots, live casino, bingo, and virtual sports. Pragmatic Play excels at creating an immersive, engaging, and mobile-focused experience for players, with over 200 HTML5 games that are available in all currencies, 31 languages, and all major certified markets. Discover more at pragmaticplay.com.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to iGaming Next edition of podcast. I'm delighted to say I'm joined today by CEO and founder of Esports Technology, Speach. Aaron, welcome to today.
Great to be with you, Rory.
Thank you. So listen, Friday's announcement, amazing news. I think took everyone quite by surprise. I think you have to keep it under wraps quite a lot. So, it's an amazing achievement for esports, Esports Technologies and Aspire Global's B2C side of things. How did it all come about? I mean, it must have been quite exciting to hold your tongue, so to speak, for so long before the announcement came out. So,
yeah, our plan was always to grow through acquisition. So M&A was high on our radar right after the IPO, which was in April. And, the Aspire acquisition came across our table along with about 15 others. And we jumped all over it. For us, it was a transformative acquisition, but more importantly, it was extremely complementary to what we were doing. We could have gone out and just acquired more esports assets and B2C customers on the esports side. But what we really loved about the Aspire assets is that they don't do esports. We felt we could really be a value add, because not only are we going to be able to offer these set of customers a brand new product, we're going to be able to help Aspire offer esports to more of their customers. So I think it was one of the main reasons that they saw us as an attractive partner as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got two publicly listed companies there coming together. How easy was that to work together and get that all sorted? Obviously, it must have been quite challenging in the sense of not letting anything out the bag.
Yeah, I mean, it's always challenging in terms of making sure you keep things under wrap. You have to keep it pretty tight within a certain set of people, employees in your group. But honestly, Aspire's been a fantastic partner, and we could tell them right away that they were somebody we're going to want to do business within the future, just by the way that they handle themselves and by the way they handle the transaction. So, we did this in an extremely short amount of time, and I think that's a testament to the way both of our companies work together.
Yeah, I was going to say, so how long did this take? Was this a very rapid decision, or obviously you had a few companies you were interested in, but obviously Aspire took the lead in that sort of sense. Was it quite a quick transition in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, it took us about 5 months from, starting the discussion to total. We're not completed with the transaction yet, but till the announcement.
Yeah, and obviously the online casino and sportsbook side of things that Aspire's B2C element brings, that must give you so much opportunity and scope to get into a different market, as you were saying. How big is that market in your eyes, in your sense?
Well, that market is growing tremendously. But we love the iGaming market, and we brought on our CMO Mark Thorne specifically to be able to make sure we don't miss a step with those iGaming assets. And we feel very confident that we're going to be able to grow their business at the same rate that they have been growing, which is about 40% in revenue, same quarter over quarter, and about 22 to 25% in EBITDA growth. Quarter to quarter. So for us, we think iGaming has huge potential, but one of the more important things is the iGaming consumer is in the demographic that we look for on the esports side. So 70% of the customers that are coming over are between 18 and 40 years old. And for somebody that wants to get more customers on the esports sports betting side, that is our wheelhouse, right? So this gives us fantastic cross-sell potential. So that's why these assets are so exciting to us, and I think Aspire would agree as well.
Yeah, your marketing team must be delighted by this acquisition. So to be able to have that opportunity from a sports betting side of view, point of view as well. I mean, that's those sort of I suppose sectors, esports and sports betting sectors, they're converging quite closely. Traditionally, the sports betting side has seen sort of tournaments being where most of the revenue comes from. The esports provides that all year round sort of mitigation of risk and revenue opportunity. That must also be something that excites you about this opportunity as well.
It does, but what excites me more is the fact that we're going to have the best odds and modeling in the game. And Rory, I think that's where esports is missing the boat right now. Is that the odds are just far too high. If you take the typical traditional sports line, the vig runs between 3.5% and 5% for something like soccer, or NFL, or NBA. But if you take esports, the bigs are running at best case scenario 6.5%, but most are actually running like 8.5% to 9%. Which is just far too big of a percentage to hold from your customer. It makes it so the esports betting experience isn't the same as traditional sports. And at the end of the day, sports betting is entertainment. And we want our customers to be entertained. We want the product to be fair. We want our customers to win so that they tell their friends. So, we've invested a ton of money into our odds and modeling team. We have several PhDs in that on that team, and we are going to drive the best odds and modeling across all of the esports, not just the big three. And I think that's going to give us a huge leg up on the competition. And now that we've struck this deal with Aspire, and that we're going to be putting our esports book product on Aspire, which will be launching through Western Europe and North America over the next year, we're going to start showing off those odds, and our competitors are going to have to come chase us.
Yeah, no. So I mean, sounds interesting. And I was going to say, those markets that you're looking to penetrate, is it mainly going to be the North American market you mentioned, and how do you see that evolving over the next 6 months to a year? So, I mean, you obviously, one of the reasons why you're having Aspire come on board is to have that penetration. But do you see it a massive long-term benefit for you guys with this? And this is like a stepping stone to get more and more, acquire more and more customers?
Yeah, so that's a beautiful thing about this transaction. It's really a partnership going forward with Aspire as well. So anytime they enter a new region, let's say New Jersey or West Virginia, which I know they're actively working on, we're going to be able to join those regions at the same time that they get licensed. So immediately, we're going to be able to launch our esports product through Western Europe, like UK, Germany, Denmark, and soon to be Netherlands. But as they start filling out more and more countries and they get into those regulated markets, we'll be able to enter those markets as well.
Great. And I suppose long term for Esports Technologies, and what's sort of coming down the line? I imagine you've got a number of acquisitions. So in terms of in terms of personnel growth coming down the line, with you recently had Michael Home, like you mentioned, come on board. I imagine there's a few more key people coming down the line. It must be quite exciting times for you guys at the moment.
It is, absolutely. One of the cool things about our company is that we operate like a Silicon Valley startup. I think that gives us a huge advantage throughout Europe because every single one of our employees gets shares in our company. I just think that's something you don't see at a lot of companies in Europe, and especially in the iGaming realm. So that allows us to attract top level talent, and it's really exciting here at Esports Technologies.
Yeah, and with Aspire and Esports Technology, are you going to be merging those teams? Is that one of the ideas to happen, or are you going to keep them quite separate? So is there going to be quite a lot of sort of alignment between the two teams and separation between that point?
Yeah, so our plan is to bring over all 14 people from the B2C division at Aspire.
Great. So, Aaron, if you could just sort of explain for those sort of investors and financiers who are probably watching this, break down the sort of valuation on the business and how that came about.
Yeah, so we purchased the assets for 65 million euros, which is roughly 1x revenue, which we feel was a fantastic deal, especially when you look at some of the comps that have gone out the last year on the gambling side. And we do have an ongoing partnership with Aspire on the B2B side. So they're going to still be handling a lot of the back-end operations of the business, while we'll handle front-end operations as well as the marketing side of the business. So for us, it's a win-win, and for Aspire, it's a win-win because we get to be their biggest client, and they get to keep generating revenue off the work that we're doing. And I think that's why this partnership will work out so well, is because they see esports as a huge opportunity in the sports betting space, and the more we grow and the faster we grow, the better it is for them on the bottom line.
Great. And one final question, so I know you're probably busy answering loads of press release questions at the moment. So, what does the future hold? I suppose. What do you see esports and obviously for yourselves, Esports Technologies? What do you see the future holds in the next 18 months?
Yeah, so I'll leave you with this. So there's 160 million total fans of the NFL. 80 million are considered hardcore. And last year, there was $64 billion in bets placed on the NFL. And remember, the NFL is not an international sport. It's largely American. And the US is not a mature betting market, as we all know. You know, it's barely opened up. Now take esports. There's 550 million esports fans. 250 million of those are considered hardcore fans. And 90% of those fans reside in countries where you can place a bet on sports. So, you know, I really think it's more getting a good product into the esports fans' hands. Once that happens, it's really going to take off like a rocket.
Yeah. Sounds like we're just at the start of all this taking off, like you say, like a rocket. And it's just so kudos to you guys for doing this deal. I think it's an amazing opportunity. I know there's synergies coming together for those. So so listen, I won't keep you any longer. I just want to say thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it, and look forward to joining us in Valletta in a couple of weeks. I know you're based out in Malta now, so I'll send you an invite through.
Absolutely, I'll be there, Rory.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Take care. Bye.
Bye.